It's an everyday thing, it's an everyday thing, it's an everyday thing when you let your nuts hang.
I reported Blac Chyna to the LAPD and FBI because I think she was trying to traffic me. I've told this story before briefly, but I was scared. I'm still scared. My heart's racing out of my chest. I wasn't brave. I wish someone was brave and came forward before I went over her house. So this time I'm going to be telling you every single detail and showing you all of my receipts. I was so scared and so embarrassed last time I didn't tell my story in the right way. I just couldn't. Welcome back to my lore, part 59. For context, you can watch parts 1 through 58 in my lore playlist. I encourage you to do so because this entire series just shows that I was a very self-destructive young girl who made bad choices, in turn making me the perfect victim for something like this. I know a lot of my stories in this series are funny and told with a comedic undertone. I want you to be entertained, I want you to laugh, but this is one of those stories I need you to take seriously, especially with the current climate of Hollywood. I hope by telling this story I can inspire others to speak out and be brave. I got called a liar the first time, and I'm still back here telling my story and being brave. If I can do it, you can do it too. Before I give you the details, I can't say with 100% certainty what her intentions were for me because I am lucky I escaped. I am just recounting my truthful experience of that night. I can't tell you she was trying to hurt me for a fact, but I can tell you what I felt, what I experienced, what she said, and you guys can make your own decision. It was enough for me to go to the FBI and LAPD and for them to take my report, so. It was August of 2022, a couple days after my 24th birthday. I had flown out to LA to go on a first date and to have a meeting because I was in talks to shoot Playboy. I was staying at my friend Brent's house. Brent was in the talent management space. He always let me stay every time I went to LA. In June of 2022, I had sent Chyna a DM on Instagram asking to collab on OF. For context, if you're an OF girl, collabs are like a huge part of your career. You wanna take photos with other girls and post them on your profile to cross-promote. That's why you see a lot of duos like Aisha and Sophie Rain. At the time, it was alleged that Chyna was the #1 OF creator on the platform. So I shot my shot thinking that we could do a photo shoot together. I thought we could take some sexy photos together. I could post them on Instagram and then sell the photo sets of us together on OF. I really didn't think she was gonna answer. You know, she was so famous to me. I was such a fan because I grew up watching her on the Kardashians. I didn't expect anything. I was just shooting my shot. She didn't answer until August 9th when I happened to be in LA. In my mind, I just thought, oh my God, what a great coincidence that she finally saw my DM when I happened to be in LA for the first time in months. I was so excited that the #1 creator on OF had responded to me. You see, my old business manager had told me I was never gonna be successful and that I was never gonna have a career and I wasn't gonna do well ever. So seeing that the #1 creator on the platform I was most successful on wanted to work with me made me feel like I wasn't a failure. I thought this was going to be amazing. I gave her my number and I didn't hear from her after that until 2:30 in the morning on August 10th. I received a FaceTime call from a number I didn't recognize. I was half asleep. I just declined it. I texted and said, "Who is this?" She identified herself. I want you to keep in mind that I took all of these screenshots while I was in New Jersey, so the timestamp on the screenshots are 3 hours ahead of what was actually happening in the moment. When you fly coast to coast, your time on your phone changes, so the timestamps all changed when I was in New Jersey. When I saw I had ignored her call, I was like, oh my God, am I missing out on this opportunity right now? I told her, hey, can I talk to you another time? Brent was a talent manager and, all night Brent and I had stayed up discussing different things that I could be doing and stuff. So I just gave her an excuse. I don't know. I was half asleep. That's when she started to get kind of mean and threatening. I believe I was the one to FaceTime her back in that moment because I was like, I don't have a boyfriend. What are you talking about? She appeared intoxicated on FaceTime, but on FaceTime she introduced me to her photographer. She said she was doing a photo shoot in the middle of the night. She told me that this photographer was going to be the one that would take pictures of us, and that once me and her were close, he would be taking all my pictures from here on out, and that he's the one who's like behind her success. She gave me a house tour. She showed me her new kitten she had gotten. She was asking me like how I found out about her, how I knew about her. I told her that my best friend Alex was such a huge fan of her and Tokyo Tony, like he always watched Tokyo Tony's live videos. Chyna asked me to add him to the FaceTime call, so I added Alex to the call. She asked Alex for his Instagram and said, "Oh my God, you're so cute, I want to follow you." So I sent it to her over DM. She then started to follow both Alex and I. While on FaceTime with Alex and I, she was telling Alex, God sent me to Ava's Instagram, like she's gonna be my new little sister. I wanna give her a hug so badly. She was telling Alex how handsome he is and what a good friend he seemed like. Alex and I just couldn't believe we were on FaceTime with her, you know, and like what we were witnessing, because she kept squatting over the camera, showing her butt to Alex. It was crazy. Everything seemed fine. It just seemed like a FaceTime call until Chyna said, like, I need to see you right now or we're never going to be friends. She told me that I had to see her that night. Alex was like texting me on the side being like, oh my God, you have to go. Like, I'm such a big fan of her. Please go. I was super hungover from my date I went on the night before, and I had no makeup on. I really didn't want to get out of bed. I told Chyna this and she said, oh, I'll just come to you. So I gave her my address, and then she screen shared with Alex and I, trying to show us that she was ordering an Uber. She kept telling us that the Uber wasn't working, even though we could see that she wasn't even ordering it. She's like, for some reason it's not working, you're gonna have to come to me. She really wanted me to meet her and the photographer. She then texted me her address. She told me to come right now. I was still under the impression that we were going to do a photo shoot and that I was going to go meet the photographer, and I really didn't want to miss out on that opportunity, so I agreed. I then called the Uber to her house. It was 4 in the morning. It says it was 7 in the morning in the screenshot because I took that screenshot once I was in New Jersey. Just want you guys to be clear on that. I get in the Uber at 4 a.m. Chyna was still on FaceTime. Alex was still on FaceTime. When I was in the Uber, I said, oh my God, my phone battery is like so low. Like, can I hang up? You're draining my battery a little bit. She told me not to hang up. She was like, no, I don't trust that Uber driver. I need to make sure you get here safe. Stay on FaceTime with me. So I did. It was like 7 a.m. in New Jersey. Alex had just woken up. He was like in the bathroom, just staring at the FaceTime call, making sure I got there okay too. By the time I arrived to her house, my phone battery was at 6%, I think, maybe a little bit higher. All I know is it was very low. I assumed that I could charge my phone in her home. My phone battery was very low, 6%, maybe a little bit higher. Alex, my best friend, had my location. He had taken a screenshot of my location because he was a little bit worried. You know, he was on the FaceTime call. Chyna seemed intoxicated. My phone was about to die. He just wanted to know where I was. Chyna opened the gate for me to her home. She was very sweet and very welcoming, standing outside. She had 2 men with her. I walked inside and she was being super sweet. The 2 guys didn't say anything to me. Out of nowhere, she says, all those stories you read about me in the media kidnapping people are true. I understand there is a video of a girl in a hotel room with her. I want you all to know that girl is not me. That incident happened before mine. I never saw that video. I never saw it in the news. After this entire thing happened to me, my friends sent me articles about it, and I eventually saw the video on TikTok. In this very moment, I had no idea what she was talking about. She seemed super intoxicated. I just said, what do you mean? And she started to laugh. I thought she was trying to be funny and like prank me or something, because after she said that, she started to be nice again, and she brought me over to her kitchen counter and said, I need you to sign this NDA. The NDA seemed standard, like any other NDA I've ever seen. but she asked me to write identifying things about myself on the NDA, like my height, my weight, my eye color. She had me write it at the bottom of the NDA, and she also had me write about Alex, I believe. You're probably wondering why I didn't leave. Honestly, I don't know. I didn't want to miss out on the opportunity. I thought she wanted to be friends. Like, I don't know. Self-preservation at this point in my life really wasn't my specialty. There were also two very tall, big men standing there. I just didn't want to make a scene. I didn't want to cause a problem. I just had a smile on my face. I was trying to be nice. Chyna then brings me up to her music studio. She told me that her kids were in the house and we would have to go hang out in the guest house. Inside the guest house was this big music studio. I took this photo inside the guest house and sent it to Alex. That was the only photo I ever took from this night, because Chyna did not want me to be on my phone or have my phone out. When we were walking up the stairs to the music studio, Chyna had me walk up first. She stayed at the bottom of the stairs with the two guys. She was complimenting me as I walked up the stairs. She was like, wow, look how bad she is. Look at those hips. Oh my God. I just said thank you. Chyna and the two men then came upstairs and, brought me into the music studio. Chyna grabbed a chair for me and put it in front of her computer. I sat down, she sat down in front of the computer, and the two men sat on the couch next to the door. The two men didn't talk to me, they were just staring at me the entire time. Chyna grabbed a bottle of Casamigos and she tried to offer some to me. She grabbed a cup and filled my cup and said, here, drink this. I was super hungover from my date the night before, and I hate tequila. So I didn't drink it. I pretended to sip a little bit and put it down on the table. Chyna was drinking it straight out of the bottle. Chyna then turned on Nickelback music videos on repeat and kept telling me to watch them. It was strange, so I just kind of looked at her and I was like, oh, this is a beautiful music studio. Like, are you recording music here? Tell me all about your music. I told her that I had songs that I had made that went viral on TikTok. Once Chyna heard that I had made music, she was like, oh my God, we totally have to collaborate on music together. Like, we have this beautiful studio, let's make a song. She told me that Bad Baby was like her little sis and that I and Bad Baby should make a song together. Chyna told me she was going to be introducing me to Bad Baby. I didn't make music anymore at this point in my life, but I thought, oh my God, what a cool opportunity. I get to make a song with Blac Chyna. Like, I'd love to. So I just stayed in her music studio with her. Chyna started to get drunker and drunker. She was chugging that bottle of Casamigos. Things started to get really weird. Chyna kept saying to me over and over again, I'll be honest with you about what's going on here once you're honest with me. Chyna would grab my hands and hold my hands up to hers to compare our hand sizes. She asked me to remove my shoes and she was trying my shoes on. I didn't really understand any of this. I thought she was just drunk. She kept telling me to be honest with her and I told her, I am being honest with you. Like, what are you talking about? She repeated that line to me at least 20 times that night. I will be honest with you about what's going on here once you're honest with me. It's important to note that my phone was about to die. I wasn't allowed to take it out of my purse. She saw me take that photo of her guest house thing and she said, put that in your purse right now. Like, you are not allowed to take your phone out. I am famous. I do not want you recording me. I do not want you taking photos of me. I don't trust you yet. I don't know you. Keep that phone in your bag. She told me, you gotta listen to me. Like, I've done bad things to people. You have to listen to me. I complied. Obviously, I was starting to get really nervous, but I just kept my phone in my bag and just sat there silent and quiet, smiling, trying to make conversation and figure out, how to leave. At one point in the night, Chyna started to, discuss her relationship with Tyga. I was just trying to make conversation, so I said, oh, allegedly my friend Lila Gibney hooked up with him. That's what she told me. This sent Chyna into a bit of a rage. Chyna demanded I pull out my phone and pull up Lila's contact. Chyna tried to call Lila. Lila was obviously sleeping, so Chyna took my phone and texted Lila. Again, I took these screenshots in New Jersey, so the phone time is 3 hours ahead of what was actually happening in the moment. The timestamps on your phone change coast to coast. While my phone was in Chyna's hands, she went to my camera roll. Chyna started frantically scrolling through my camera roll, and I have like 40,000 pictures, guys. I have a lot. I asked her what she was doing, and she was like, "Oh, I just want to see a photo of you when you were younger. You're such a pretty girl." Her having my phone made me nervous. I asked for it back, and she angrily threw it back at me. I felt like I needed to change the topic of discussion, so I asked where the photographer was. Chyna told me that the photographer had shot all the photos he needed to shoot of her and that he had gone home. Chyna told me that he was such an amazing photographer, I could not meet him until she trusted me and we were really good friends. I wanted to leave, but the two men who weren't speaking were standing by the door. One of the men was her boyfriend. I was nervous, I was scared, I didn't want anything bad to happen to me, so I just continued to sit there. Chyna wouldn't let me be alone in the music studio without her. She needed to be with me at all times, even when she was using the bathroom. Every time Chyna needed to go to the bathroom, she would grab me by my wrists and drag me in the bathroom with her. She would then sit me up on the bathroom counter while she, took poops in the toilet. Very uncomfortable situation. She made me leave my phone in the music studio when I was in the bathroom with her because she said I was going to record her taking shits. Her boyfriend was always standing outside the bathroom door when I was alone in there with her. She eventually asked her boyfriend to come into the bathroom with us. Chyna started telling me she wanted us to be natural and that she couldn't get to know me unless I was my natural self. I didn't know what this meant. Chyna was wearing this wig. It was a half up, half down style. I think it was like pink and yellow. Chyna removed her wig and she instructed her boyfriend, his name was Twin, to go get a hot towel for her. Chyna was showing me her bald head, trying to say like, "Oh, I shaved my hair, like what do you think?" And I just kept telling her like, "Oh, you look beautiful, like I could never shave my head, I would look crazy." Twin came back into the bathroom with the hot towel. Chyna started to wipe off all of her makeup. She instructed Twin to grab another hot towel so I could wipe off all of my makeup. I looked at Chyna and I said, "Oh my God, I'm not even wearing any makeup. Like, it was the middle of the night when I came over here, I didn't do my makeup." Chyna did not believe me. She got a bit intimidating and she said, "You're lying, I can see mascara on your face." I told her like, "Yeah, there's some mascara residue, but I'm not wearing makeup." Twin came back with a towel again. Chyna grabbed the towel and put it on my face and started to wipe. I was terrified. I didn't know what was on this towel. I didn't know what I was breathing in. I didn't know what was going on. Chyna, wiped my face with the towel pretty hard and was making me hold the towel on my face and pat my face. Once this was all, said and done, she brought me back out to the music studio. At this point, I really, really wanted to leave. I had tried to sneak my phone out and call Ubers at previous points in the night, but she would always yell at me and tell me to put my phone back in my purse and, make me cancel whatever Uber I had called. Here's an example, of an Uber I tried to call that she made me cancel. My hands were shaking so hard I couldn't even get, the address right that I was trying to go to. I couldn't type it in. It was just, I was messing up. Again, timestamps are 3 hours ahead of when this was actually happening in the moment because I took these screenshots while I was in New Jersey. This all happened in LA. I remember, after the whole bathroom thing, I tried to get up and say, "Okay, my friends, miss me, I have to go." She forced me back down into my seat and yelled at me. I was scared because that entire bottle of Casamigos she had was now empty. She drank the entire thing. Clearly, she was not, in her right mind. After scolding me for wanting to leave and stuff, once I just calmed down and just sat in the chair quietly and smiled at her, out of just self-preservation, she started to imply she wanted to hook up with me. She said at 10 a.m. once Dream was out of the house that she was going to go crazy on me, that she wanted me, we were going to go in the pool together and skinny dip, we were going to have so much fun. I have no idea if Dream was even in the house. I didn't see the children. She just kept saying she couldn't do anything to me until Dream was gone. She kept saying 10 a.m. at 10 a.m. at 10 a.m. I'm going to go crazy on you, 10 a.m. I was just frozen in fear. I've never felt something like this in my entire life, you know, like I never knew I would be like someone who has a fawn response in the face of danger. I'm sure a lot of you people are wondering why I didn't call 911. I was way too scared to. Throughout the night, whenever I would like sneak on my phone and try and go grab my phone, you know, she would yell at me. My phone was about to die. I had turned the brightness all the way down. I put my phone on Do Not Disturb. I thank God every day my phone was pretty new, so my phone battery was lasting throughout this night. It was just so scary, and I thought if I called 911 that those two men she had there would hurt me. I didn't know if there was weapons in the house because she had mentioned guns at some point throughout the night. I was just terrified. My main instinct was just to be quiet and survive and figure out what to do and how to get out of there. I ended up trying to leave again, and this is when Chyna broke down and started to sob and grabbed me and started to cry on me about her dead grandmother. It was very intense. Chyna told me that she has no one in her life who love her or care about her, and that I was the only person she had, and that I was her new best friend. I couldn't go. God sent me to her for a reason, and that if I left, I was this horrible, evil person. Her boyfriend then approached us to give her a tissue, and this is when she started to get aggressive with her boyfriend. I was so scared witnessing this, but thank God she was distracted because I started to text my friends and tell them what was happening. I was saying oh my God, she's beating on her boyfriend. While she was fighting with her boyfriend, she was saying, Rob is on the way to come pick up Dream. Don't play with me. Rob's on the way to come pick up Dream. I was just frantically texting them while shaking, moment to moment what was going on. When her and her boyfriend stopped what they were doing, I quickly shoved my phone in between my thighs. I was shaking, I was scared. I needed to leave, and I knew I needed to leave right then and there. I just wasn't sure how, and I was so scared too, especially after seeing what she had just done to her boyfriend. She was acting so erratic. She went from doing all that stuff with her boyfriend then to being deadly calm. 10 a.m. was approaching, and she, had said she was going to go crazy on me at 10 a.m. and I was just scared. I really noticed how drunk Chyna was at this point, and I said, okay, maybe I'm going to be able to leave. Let me try and figure this out. And then Chyna FaceTimed someone named Donna. I don't think I was supposed to hear this phone call. I don't think Chyna was ever supposed to FaceTime Donna in front of me because Donna seemed really pissed off. Chyna was just so drunk at this point, I guess she wasn't really thinking. Chyna started to talk to Donna, and Donna kept asking, is she or isn't she? I need to know. Chyna kept going, shh, shh, she's in the room, she's in the room. They were whispering and talking codes. Donna called Chyna a bottom bitch. They kept using the word deeply to describe me. Chyna kept saying I was giving fish. I didn't know what any of this meant. Donna said, well, let me just ask her myself. So Chyna, comes over to me and says, this is Donna. I really want you to meet her. She's going to be coming over at 10 a.m. Chyna hands me the phone. I look down at the screen, and Donna was a fully naked trans woman. She had the phone pointed towards a full body mirror. She was jumping up and down, trying to make me look at what she had going on downstairs. Donna asked me, so are you an escort, babe? I told Donna, no, I'm not an escort at all, no. Donna started to laugh and said, oh, come on, we all know what OF really means. I was so scared at this point because I started to figure out what was going on. I told Chyna and Donna, no, I just do OnlyFans. Like, I sell my pictures. Like, I don't meet up with people in real life. Donna cracks a joke to Chyna and me. She says, like, well, if you weren't an escort before, you are now. I was really starting to realize what was happening. Donna and Chyna kept going back and forth about me. Chyna kept saying how bad I was. Like, you gotta see this girl's hips. She's so fish. Donna says to Chyna, Jenny is going to be very mad if she isn't. How come you haven't figured it out yet, Chyna? Chyna says, just ask her yourself. Donna asks me if I am transgender. I am not transgender. I was like in shock that they asked me this. I said, no, oh my God, no, I'm not transgender. I'm on my period right now. Like, I can pull my tampon out and show you I was born a woman. Like, I'm not trans. I'm not trans. This is when Chyna put her hand down on my crotch, touched me, and then said to Donna, she's giving fish. It all clicked for me in this moment. Why Chyna was trying on my shoes, why Chyna was comparing our hand sizes, why Chyna looked through my camera roll for pictures of me when I was younger, why Chyna tried to make me take all my makeup off. The entire night, Chyna was trying to figure out if I was transgender because she was looking for a transgender woman to give to Donna and Jenny. All the blood in my body went cold in this moment. I realized I was about to be the victim of a crime. It was almost 10 a.m. Donna was going to come over. It was now or never. I started to frantically text my friends. I didn't care if Chyna saw. I was just praying she was distracted on FaceTime with Donna, discussing me, saying that I would be good product, that I was pretty, all these things about me, you know. Like I told you in the previous videos, I had been like sneaking my phone and texting my friends frantically throughout the entire night. This is what I first said to them. I told them what was going on between her and her boyfriend, and then in this moment when I really knew I was in danger, I just texted them and said, guys, she thinks I'm trans. I was shaking when I sent this text to them. My friends weren't really taking me seriously, as you can see. I can't blame them because it's like an unbelievable thing that was happening to me, you know. Because they weren't being much help, I texted Brent, who I was staying with in LA, and I told him to come save me. I immediately sent Brent my location. My phone was on 2% at this point. I did not think I was going to make it out of there, and I needed Brent to come get me. Chyna noticed that I was frantically texting my friends and shaking. She yelled at me and said, "What the F are you doing?" I told her my friends are really worried about me. I really need to go. I told them I'm still here. Chyna says to Donna on the phone, "Oh my God, you need to get here soon. We are going to have a SWAT team arrive to this house." That really confirmed for me that I was not crazy. Her telling Donna that the SWAT team was going to arrive because I alerted my friends what was going on just was all the confirmation I needed that I really needed to get out of there. Brent called me and I answered. I knew I had to be brave and I had to answer the phone. I looked around the room as soon as I answered and I noticed that Twin was asleep on the couch and the other guy had left at some point in the night. I just had never noticed. Brent tells me, "Ava, you need to run. You are fine. You will make it. Just go." I was crying at this point. I remember I said like, "Okay." And I just started to book it out of there. Chyna noticed what was going on and tried to stand up and come at me. Chyna saw that I was on the phone and tried to come towards me. She was just so intoxicated, she really couldn't get to me. She was falling all over herself on the floor. My phone was on like 2%, so I believe I hung up with Brent. I booked it down the stairs of the guest house and frantically was looking for the exit. I made it into the kitchen and the guy who was no longer in the room was waiting down there. He asked me what I was doing. I said, "Can you please open the gate? Can you please open the gate?" I was shaking so hard, I was crying. He started to walk towards me, so I ran outside. I threw myself over / through the gate and booked it across the street running. I ran into a neighbor's driveway. I hid behind this person's bush. While hiding behind this bush, I quickly, called an Uber. I called Brent back. I was just crying behind the bush. The person who lived in that house actually ended up pulling into their driveway and, saw me behind their bush. They didn't think to ask if I was okay or anything. They just kind of went back into their house, and I walked onto the street and quickly got into an Uber. I was on the phone with Brent, and I was telling Brent my phone's on 1%, like it's about to die, and I was just frantic. I was crying. I was in so much distress, and the Uber driver, said to me, like, here's a phone charger, what happened to you, are you okay? I didn't have the words to tell the Uber driver what happened. I was just in a state of fear and shock. I didn't know if she was coming after me. I had given her my address earlier on in the night. I plugged my phone in, I called Brent back, I called Alex, I was crying, just telling them what happened, how scared I was. I walked into Brent's kitchen, and everyone who was living at that house looked at me and said, like, what happened to you? I told them everything. Everyone there said, you need to call the police now, like, you need to tell the police what happened. It was Brent who told me, no, Ava, do not go to the LAPD. She is famous. This story will get leaked. Your life could be in danger. Like, you need to go to the FBI. In that moment, I couldn't, call authorities. I was just in such a state of shock. I went and I locked myself in the room I was staying in at Brent's, and I sobbed and cried. I tried to force myself to go to sleep because I had not slept that entire night, but I was so scared I couldn't. That night, I decided to find a hotline for trafficking victims and text them. I wanted to make them aware and ask them what to do. I don't know, I just needed support. As you can see, this was sent on August 10th, the day it happened. I was still in LA when I was texting these people. I'm going to include all the texts, and you can just pause to read them and see what I said and see what they told me. I was so scared. I just needed to get out of LA immediately, so I had Alex book me a flight for the next day. Mentally, I just wasn't doing okay. I'm going to show you the text I was sending Alex, in this moment. I was a part of a documentary from Canada. They were filming one about influencers and people who go viral. I had to end up pushing that back a day because of just the mental state I was in. Just for some context about what Alex was referring to. As the dust started to settle from the whole incident, Alex started to Google her, and that's when he found out that Chyna had done this before. This was the first time I ever heard of it, and I told Alex, hey, I think we should block her. Alex told me not to block her or anything. My friends advised me to just lay low, don't draw attention to myself or anything like that. Once I was back home safe in New Jersey, I reported her to the FBI. The day after it happened, I submitted an electronic tip form to them and thought, okay, this is the safest way for me to report this. A week or two later, I received a phone call from the FBI, and then I just recounted my entire experience to them and told them everything. The FBI agent I spoke to said he couldn't really tell me much, but this was a very common thing that happens, and that they're always constantly investigating it, and that they would take it from here, and that, they couldn't tell me anything. I tried to just move on with my life, but I was not doing good at all. And then on August 24th, I received a DM from Chyna. She swiped up on one of my stories with heart eyes. This is when I decided, oh my God, I have to block her. I cannot take Alex's advice. I do not need her watching me. I do not need her looking at my profile. I have to block her. I waited on making my LAPD report because I didn't want the story getting leaked to the media for my safety, and also because of just how embarrassed I was about the whole thing. I didn't want the public like picking me apart, questioning if I was an escort, questioning if I was transgender. I didn't want people to like make fun of me and say I looked like a man. No shade to like trans people at all. It's just I was scared that people were going to say I looked masculine. Finally, in October, I was ready to like come forward with my story. I felt like I could handle it, and I called the LAPD and told them everything. Unfortunately, the LAPD told me that because I didn't report it in the very moment, it's hard for them to take down a report about a potential trafficking situation. But the police officer I spoke to was so kind. She believed me 100%. She told me, listen, like, this stuff happens here. I am not shocked. Like, LA is known for this. She wanted to have my story on record with the LAPD, so she made sure she, typed out everything I said, and she made a report for SA because Chyna had touched me down there when she was on FaceTime with Donna. I decided to come forward and talk about what happened to me publicly right around the time I filed my police report because I did not want this to happen to any other girl. I posted a TikTok about it, and then I received a really scary DM. In the music industry that I followed, he was like an A&R at a record company, messaged me and said, I asked him what's up. He then sent me photos that disappear, telling me that my blue check mark was going to get removed off of Instagram. He then told me that my Instagram account was going to get deleted. I asked if there was anything I could do to prevent it, and that is when he sent me this. You need to stop posting about what you've been posting. It's not worth losing the check and then possibly your page. I can always try and help get it back, but it's not worth the hassle. Feel me. The threats worked on me for a minute, and I took my TikTok posts down because I could not lose my Instagram page. My job and my entire livelihood at that point in my life was OF. Instagram is the best way to direct traffic to your OF page. I was about to lose all of my money if I lost my social media accounts. Notice how he doesn't say that I'm lying. Notice how he doesn't accuse me of saying anything untrue. He just tells me, okay, I'll take it from here. I took my original videos down for like an hour and had a full-blown anxiety attack. But then I realized I really needed to be brave, and me taking down those videos would make me look like a liar. Promptly, I put the videos back up. It's important to note that no one in the media was writing any articles about my video before I tell you what I'm going to tell you next. I received a cease and desist from Blac Chyna. After receiving the cease and desist, there were a million articles written about how Blac Chyna did not do this, how Blac Chyna was calling me a liar, all of these things. I assumed she was trying to get ahead of it or something and told the media because I didn't. I was not going to let a cease and desist scare me, so I had my lawyers write a letter back. Here's the thing about a cease and desist, guys. Celebrities use them to try and get people to stop talking. If you sue someone for defamation, the person you are suing then gets access to something called discovery. I would have been able to see everything she was texting about me. It all would have been public information. Everything she said to Donna, what she was planning, all of it. I kept my videos up and I didn't hear from her ever again. I was never sued. Personally, I think she targeted me because my reputation online isn't the best. I had been involved in like clout chasey stuff and celebrity gossip and rumors. I was messy. I had, problems with drugs and alcohol. Bad people like to target people who wouldn't be deemed credible in the court of public opinion. Obviously, I was never sued. Nothing I have said in these videos is false. That was my experience. It's what happened. I haven't heard back from the LAPD or FBI, but who knows? I know it takes years for them to investigate these things. I really wanted to make this specific video to touch on the fact that, the first time I came out about the story, so many people called me a liar because of my involvement with the Jeffree Star Kanye West rumor. I made a video in this series explaining that. I suggest you go and watch it. But I digress. Because of how bad and messy my public perception is, in the court of public opinion, I'm just deemed a liar. That works to predatory people's advantage because when I did come forward, a lot of people didn't believe me. If you do your research on crimes like this, many of the victims are homeless, addicts, they're trying to gain something. It's not like these women just get kidnapped off the street and forced into it, they're groomed into it. Predatory people pick women that no one will believe. In the court of public opinion, you know, someone's not going to believe the drug addict, drunk woman, or the woman with the bad clout chasey reputation. You know, they're going to believe the person who did the crime. If you look at the Diddy cases, like, so many of these people were introduced to him because they were trying to get a leg up in the music industry. It's very, very scary. It was hard for me to come on the internet and tell you guys this story, but last time I did, it actually helped a lot of women, and a lot of women ended up messaging me with very similar stories about her. The one woman even sent me proof of everything, and like the way Chyna was texting her was extremely similar to how I was being texted. Chyna was calling her her new little sis. Their stories are not my story to tell. To the women watching these videos, if you went through something similar, whether it was with Chyna or any celebrity, anyone, be brave. Be brave and tell it. If I can do it, you can do it too. I think I am going to take a little break from the lore videos for a couple of days because this was hard to tell. And I do not know what is going to happen to me because I spoke out again.
What to do, everyday people, man? It's your boy PJ. Today we back with another lit video, back in the confessional. And yes, we staying lit, big dog. Shout out to my everyday people who rock with me every day. Shout out to my player partner, Lucky Wills, and Deals. He keeps it lit. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe to this video. Let me know what y'all think about it in the comment section. Hit the links down below. We got HiveMindLabs.com where you can unbig that big ass back fat. Okay, man, hit the links down below. We got Opulence Scents, man. Shout out to the winners of the 80K giveaway. We did that live thing, and we got it lit, man. I appreciate everybody, man, for showing up and showing out. All right, man, let's get into it, man. Let me know what y'all think about this whole crazy situation. Now, she does say her friend Alex is no longer her friend, because if you could have paused and read the text messages. He didn't seem like he didn't care. He was like, oh my God, wow, really? Wow. Alex was kind of flamboyant, if you don't know. And I did laugh at one point. It wasn't at the situation. It was at the fact that Chyna really did all that stuff to see if she was transgender. Because at first, I didn't put two and two together. But then when you think about everything that transpired, it's kind of funny. Like, yo, she thought you was a dude. Like, that's crazy. Anyway, then she lost interest in you. Like, she's a woman. Like, that's crazy. So Blac Chyna's into trans too. Hey, women could be into anything. Let's not think that these women aren't freaks. Okay, it's called Hollyweird for a reason. Okay, and then also, another thing that struck my mind is like the neighbor. The neighbor sees so much crazy stuff in Hollyweird that seeing someone hiding in their bushes, notices them and just casually walks in their house without calling authorities or anything, lets me know that that's a place that you want to be careful in, okay? People just don't care these days. Well, we got the real Ava Louise. She is a OF model. She's an influencer. She's all here and there and everywhere, been with people like with the likes of P. Diddy. She's been one of them Diddy parties. She's been baby oiled upped, okay? And many other people in this one. Just happens to be about Blac Chyna, and that explains why Blac Chyna is now going by the holy illustrious Angela White. Okay, Angela White has given her life to God because she said she hurt enough women in her life and she does not want to hurt any more women. Okay, Blac Chyna is tired of putting her hands down people's crotches to check and see if they are a man or a woman. She wants to put her healing hands on people and baptize them in the name of the Lord. Just weird. Absolutely insane. Okay, but it's crazy that a lot of this stuff is coming out about these people. I just hope I don't get that famous because I've done some suspicious stuff in my day. Yeah, y'all gonna see me on in 15 years. Y'all gonna see me on YouTube. All these accusations are egregious, and I think they are. Uh, I cannot say that any of these people are telling the truth. They are making this all up. No, that ain't happening to me. You know, but that is crazy though. Like Jay-Z, I mean Diddy came out with his apology and then bam dropped a video on his ass. Okay, that just shut him up real quick. And then you know, there's still Tom Hanks, um, Russell Simmons. Um, I think what's that fighter name? The Irish guy. I think he just got caught up in some stuff. There's another guy that's out the country and they want to bring him back. I mean, it's just many of them. Did I say Tom Hanks? Yeah, Tom. It's just so many of them, and it's kind of strange. It's absolutely insane that all these people don't want to come back to America because they think that it's a hit on them and that the times that they have for just being a freaky ass person. Listen, you can't. If you was a freak in the 80s, 90s, early 2000s, if you did some freaky stuff, it's gonna come back to haunt you. If you was rich and you did it, it's gonna. If you was poor and you did it, no one will care. It's just gonna be another story to tell. It's just gonna be another. You're just gonna be a person in the comment section talking. But this happened to me. It ain't gonna matter. But if you rich, it's gonna be a story. So just know it happens a lot. It ain't gonna matter if you ain't rich though. Like no one would actually care about you if it wasn't Blac Chyna. Let's be honest. Now maybe if you were sex trafficked, somebody like the police may lock somebody up, but you wouldn't get no attention. You might get a few prayers on TikTok, but after your story's over, it goes away. No, everyone will forget about you. You can write 50 books, no one will care. Which is, I'm just saying this because that's for victims, like it's a shame. It's a shame that no one will care unless it's a celebrity. So don't take it as if I'm saying that no one does care, because people care. But in the big scheme of things, if that person isn't famous, it won't get the attention that it needs to. Because even if this situation isn't true, it gains enough attention to different people. Also, going to the FBI, not going to the police and going to the FBI, probably a good idea. Um, LAPD has a long line of corruption. And then going, and also her screenshot, she kept saying, my screenshots don't align because they're back in Jersey. Girl, it don't matter when you take a screenshot. You take a screenshot when you take a screenshot. If you take a screenshot after the fact, you can't take a screenshot of you in LA when you're in New Jersey. That makes no sense. I could not for the life of me understand what she was saying when she was saying she's taking a screenshot and it's 3 hours behind. Well, it's not in real time if you're all the way across the country. So obviously it's not in real time. So I genuinely didn't get that. But for sake of the video, I don't even care. I don't even think she should have said anything because literally it don't matter. Because it really made it even more confusing to even explain the screenshot timestamp. So Anyway, everyday people, let me know what y'all think about this in the comment section. Like, comment, and subscribe. I'm gonna holler at you later. Peace.
Day and night. For some women, it can start working in as fast as 1 week.